on Marlow FM 97.5.
Fantastic. Well, here we are back again, and we are joined by Jane, who's from Back on Track Coaching. We will get it right by the end of the programme. Sorry, Jane. And we are going to be chatting to her for the next hour, perhaps. Now, what we'd like to start with is talking about your background, because you've got quite an interesting story. So if you'd like to tell us all about that.
Okay, thank you. I spent most of my adult life working as an aid worker for charities, working in projects across Africa and Asia, mainly in countries affected by conflict. So working with disabled war veterans, running emergency health programmes, helping communities rebuild after conflict. It was all great fun. Involved a lot of travel, a lot of long-haul flights, a lot of driving around in four-wheel drive vehicles on bad roads. Had an amazing time. At the same time as doing that, I was doing quite a lot of sport. I used to run a lot. I ran a couple of marathons. I did a lot of hiking and trekking, carrying backpacks. I took up triathlon. Used to do a lot of scuba diving, bouncing around in boats. And as it turned out, all of those things, the travel, the four-wheel drive vehicles, all the impact sport, was having an impact on my back. In 2004, I started developing back problems. I was actually in Liberia at the time on a trip, ended up seeing a doctor in Ghana, came home, saw an osteopath. They put me back together again, but it kept getting worse, and 4 years later I had my first back operation.
How old were you at this point?
I would have been in my early 40s.
Right.
And it turned out that I've got genetically weak discs which don't respond well to the impact that I was putting my back through.
Unbeknown to you at the time.
Unbeknown to me at the time.
Crumbs.
And pretty much everything I was doing was causing impact on my back. So I had to make some quite big changes to my life then, give up the travel, give up the running. But the operation at the time was very successful, so I could pretty much get on with life as normal. And I stopped doing the overseas work and joined a UK-based consultancy, working on leadership development work and doing quite a lot of coaching, giving people feedback on diagnostics and things. And then, unfortunately, the back got worse, and beginning of 2010, I had to have major surgery to remove a disc and have spinal fusion, and that brought about some really big life changes.
Because that is, I mean, and only knowing from my sister who had a disc removed, that is big, full-on recovery when it's your back, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It took about 18 months to get over it, and now I'm in a situation where I have to actively manage it every day. Yeah. So it's great. I can do a lot of things, but yeah, it's curtains on the impact sport and the lots of travel. So,
and is that how you came into coaching?
Yes, it is. It was a sequence of events that all culminated in me thinking, actually, coaching is what I want to do. Partly because I had a lot of help when I was recovering from my surgery. I was the second operation. I was very worried about what life was going to look like. How was I going to earn a living when I couldn't do the intensity of work and travel? What was my social life going to be like when I couldn't do any of the sport and activities I used to do? So I was really quite worried, and friends and family were great, but I did have one friend that turned out that she was a coach, and she really helped me to deal with all my anxieties, work through my issues, make some plans, take control, and start moving on with my life, and that was fantastic. What was also happening was, whilst I was lying on my back recovering, friends were coming to visit. We'd talk for about 30 seconds about my back, because that gets a bit boring after a while. And then I spent a lot of time talking to them about what was going on in their life. And actually, a lot of the time, I was really coaching them. So as I was thinking through what I needed to do, what I wanted to do, all the things that I love doing about understanding what makes people tick, getting the best out of people, helping others, needing a job that didn't involve a lot of travel, that I could do from home, I could do on the phone. Coaching just seemed to pop out, and I thought, fantastic, I've benefited from a coach with my back, so why don't I help other people in the same situation? And that's when I qualified as a coach and set up Back on Track.
So, excuse my ignorance, but what is the training involved with becoming a coach?
It's a very good question, because it's actually not a regulated profession, so there are lots of different ways of going about it.
Right.
But there are lots of training associations out there. I trained with an organisation that allowed me to go and do training days at times that suited me, so I could pick which order and when I went and did them. So I had 6 one-on-one training days, or 6 face-to-face training days. I did over 60 hours of practice coaching. I did a lot of written work. I submitted a written paper. I watched a lot of DVDs and listened to teleclasses. And I had 3 assessed coaching calls. And out of that, I got a diploma in personal performance coaching. I also qualified as an NLP practitioner. And again, that was 8 days of intensive training. And a lot of practice, a lot of self-study at home, and some written assignments, and then assessments. So out of that, I got the qualifications, and I'm now also a member of 2 professional bodies, the Association for NLP and the Association for Coaching.
So can people... When you were just saying about regulations and things like that, can people set up and call themselves a coach of something without being trained up and having these qualifications, if you say there's not a regulating body?
Technically, yes, but most people that are active in the profession have got qualifications and go above and beyond that. So there's a lot of emphasis on continual professional development.
Yeah.
Particularly the 2 associations provide a lot of ongoing development, and I attend co-coaching and things like that. Also, people often then add to the basic coaching. So I got accredited in the DISC personality profiling tool. Other people will bring in different areas that they specialise in.
Yeah.
So it is possible, but really not many people do that, because it is a professional service that you're offering.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was going to say, I mean, there's in this area there is a lot of people that operate as coaches. So if you're looking for a coach, what do you look for a good one?
That's always the $1 million question.
Certificates on the wall, framed.
It's a really good question, and I think there's 2 parts to answering that. The first is actually it's great if people think to look for a coach, because very often people don't even realise that coaching could help them. So great if people are already thinking a coach might help. Fantastic, because anything that you're stuck with, anything you want a bit of help with, a coach may well be able to really make a difference. And then to find the coach that works for you, it's quite personal. Yes, look for qualifications. That's good basis. What's really important is that it's the right style of coaching that works for you, and that you connect with the person that's going to coach you. So have a chat with them. Look at their website, talk to them, read their testimonials, get referrals if you can. Have a chat with them. If it feels like right, if you like the sound of what they're saying, if you like the look of what they do, then give it a go. Also, can be really reassuring to work with somebody that you know works on the areas that you're interested in. So I work with people dealing with health issues, wanting to bring changes in their lifestyle to help improve their health or deal with a health issue. Other people may work on relationship issues, career issues, parenting issues, all sorts of things. Some work very much on the kind of confidence side. Some are bring in spiritual side. Some bring in music and dance. I use quite a structured, pragmatic approach to give clarity of thought and really sort of drill down into the issues. Other people like to use much more creative ways, using much more music, as I say, or visual aids. So it's finding somebody that works for you, that fits with the way you like to operate.
Okay, because I recently had a similar situation where I had to choose a surgeon, and I called the place where I was having, the clinic, and just said to the lady there, "Oh, I don't know who to choose." And I said, and I literally went, and there was a profile of all the surgeons on their webpage, and I literally chose the one that looked the friendliest, and it turns out that I made an amazing choice. But I should imagine for somebody that's looking for something that ultimately is a really it's a personal choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
To find that right person that you can click with, must be. It's not it's not something you do every day. Let's face it. Is
No,
it?
it's not, and it can be a challenge. I think very often. Word of mouth is great, referrals are great.
Yeah.
And sometimes just knowing that somebody has been through something similar, even though it's not about the coach, the emphasis is always about the client, it's always what's going on for them. But knowing that the person understands can make a big difference.
Yeah.
So find somebody
Completely.
you relate to. That would be my advice.
We're going to just
Are you
have a
coming
quick...
in?
I'm coming in.
Hello.
I've been trying desperately. Sorry, Jane. I'm trying to find the piece of music that Jane requested, and we haven't got it. And I was trying to sort out getting the seeing if I could upload it online, but I couldn't. So, Jane, we're going to have to settle. I know you wanted something by Hugh Masekela, so we're going to have what we have on the system. I'm really sorry, but so. This is not what Jane wanted. She wanted Hugh Masekela's Send Me, but instead of which, we're going to have his version of Grazing in the Grass. We're getting a bit carried away there by talking to Jane about all sorts of interesting things, so which we'll come on to. But that was Hugh Masekela, and I'm sorry we hadn't got the correct track, Jane, but we have got your next one that you wanted, so that one we're all right on.
Redeem ourselves.
We'll redeem ourselves,
Excellent.
absolutely, on that. So we're talking to Jane Drapkin. Is that correct?
It is correct, yes.
Who is a coach, and very interesting how she came to coaching. And we've been talking about the sort of the training that she's had. And you were saying you've done some NLP, and for those people who don't know, what is this NLP?
It's a very good question. NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. What it is, it's often described as a user manual for the brain.